Hey guys, my name is Rob, and today we're unboxing and reviewing the EasySMX S15. This is a wireless Joy-Con set for Nintendo Switch, which is also compatible with PC and mobile via Bluetooth. The S15 was sent to me by EasySMX for the purposes of this review, and they also provided me with a discount code OMR S15 that will get you 15% off of the S15 on their website, which I will link in the video description. The S15 is not currently available on Amazon, so their official website is your best shot at picking this up, and also where you can take advantage of this 15% off code. But I also wanted to point out that they extended our Amazon promo code for the X20 until November 30th, which stacks with all other offers, including the Black Friday sale that has already started, and another $8 off coupon that is currently available, so you can pick up the X20 for $30 plus tax, which is kind of insane. If you haven't watched that video, please check it out. That controller is well worth the retail price of around $60, but at basically half that, it's absolutely a no-brainer. But this video is about the S15, so let's open it up and check it out. These will be the first Joy-Cons I've reviewed on the channel, and honestly I don't spend a lot of time playing on the Switch, though we do have both a Switch and a Switch Lite that my kids and my wife use regularly, and I definitely go through phases of playing Smash Brothers, Mario Kart with the kids, and some Zelda here and there. Regardless, I was really interested in trying these out because I really liked the last EasySMX controller I bought, and I hadn't purchased a set of Pro Joy-Cons since the Hori Split Pad Pro, and that's been a long time ago. So there's not much to the packaging here, just clear plastic, and under the top piece we have the two Joy-Cons and a USB-A to USB-C cable. This is just a standard cable for charging, not braided or anything, and I believe it's a 4-foot cable. Then we have the Joy-Cons, which we'll get to in a moment, and under the plastic we have a couple of different joystick options. We've also got the manual, which I somehow missed in the box. This is unfortunately one of those large fold-out manuals, so I'll probably download a digital one instead of using this. Then we have the extra thumbsticks, which I assume are going to be longer than the pre-installed ones. And that does appear to be the case. I don't really play shooters on the Switch or anything, but it's still nice to have the option of longer sticks in case you prefer them. And these do just snap on, so very easy to change out. And that's literally everything in the box, so let's take a closer look at the Joy-Cons now. We have mechanical ABXY buttons, which I love, as well as a mechanical 8-way D-pad, and to me these are a big improvement over standard Joy-Cons. We also have micro-switch bumpers and triggers, so no analog triggers here, as well as 4 rear buttons that are micro-switch. That's right, 4 rear buttons on Joy-Cons, even though we can't seem to get 4 rear buttons on many Pro controllers from some notable companies. Looking at you, game sir. We also have the SL and SR buttons on the rail, so technically you can use them separately, just like with the standard Nintendo Joy-Cons, though I think that's a little bit awkward with the shape of the grip and the full D-pad on the left one, but it's not like this is comfortable with any Joy-Con. On the right pad we have the home button, a turbo button, and the plus button. Then on the left we have the capture button, a turbo button, and the minus button. The last physical feature to mention is that we do have Hall Effect sticks, which is great, particularly since Nintendo's Joy-Cons have been famously bad for developing stick drift, but no worries about that here. You can long press the home button on the right Joy-Con and the capture button on the left Joy-Con to turn them on. If already paired with the Switch, they will reconnect automatically. When you insert the S15 Joy-Cons into the Switch rail connectors and wake the Switch, they automatically pair with the system. But you can also do the initial pairing by holding the pairing button on the rail for each Joy-Con for 5 seconds until the channel lights flash, and then going into controller grip order settings on the Switch to manually pair. You can also pair to PC or mobile with this method. Once paired to the Switch, turning on the S15 Joy-Cons will wake the system whether they're attached or not, just like standard Joy-Cons. Putting the system to sleep will also turn off the S15, but you can turn them off manually by holding the home and share buttons for 5 seconds. EasySMX does sell a version of the S15 that includes an attachment for connecting the Joy-Cons for paired use while not playing in handheld mode, but unfortunately the version they sent me didn't include that attachment, and according to their website they're sold out of that version, so likely that's why I didn't get one. Fortunately, I do have a third-party Joy-Con connector that works fine with the S15, though admittedly it looks like the one they make is a little bit smaller and obviously matches better, but this works in a pinch. I'm going to use this adapter while going over the functions of the controller just because it makes it easier to demonstrate. You can hold the turbo button of either Joy-Con and move the thumbstick on that Joy-Con up and down to adjust the vibration intensity. You can hold turbo and move the joystick left or right to adjust the brightness of the RGB lighting. If you press turbo and the minus button on the left joystick or the plus button on the right joystick, it cycles through different lighting modes. There are a few to choose from here, including a solid color mode. If you're in solid color mode, you can detach the Joy-Con from the Switch or the attachment and press the turbo button plus SL on the left Joy-Con, or the turbo button plus SR on the right Joy-Con to cycle through the color options. And then finally you can hold turbo and plus or minus to turn the lighting on or off on the left or right Joy-Con respectively. You can program the back buttons by holding the turbo button plus a back button for 3 seconds. The Joy-Con will vibrate to indicate it's in programming mode, then you press the button you want to assign, and then press the back button you want to assign it to. Unfortunately, you can only assign back buttons on the left to inputs on the left controller, and the same with the right controller. This isn't unexpected, but it is a little inconvenient for sure. You can also assign macros, so for instance, when you enter programming mode, you can press either two buttons simultaneously or a sequence of buttons, and then press the rear button you want to assign that macro to. I checked this in Gamepad Tester, and it does work correctly. Then finally we have the actual turbo function, which you enable by pressing turbo plus a face, shoulder, or trigger button. The first time you do this, you'll be in manual mode, so you press and hold the button you assigned for continuous rapid fire. If you press turbo and that button again, it changes to auto rapid fire, so pressing once will activate the button and pressing again will deactivate it. And then if you press T and that button again, it turns turbo off. One thing I really dislike about the turbo setting is that the controller doesn't vibrate or do anything else to indicate that you've activated turbo, but I did check this in Gamepad Tester as well, and it does work as described. While we're in Gamepad Tester, I will say the circularity test looks fine, 0.1% error as we would expect with Hall Effect sticks. That said, you can see that the sticks are bouncing back to a perfect 0 reading every time, and I'll go ahead and tell you this is because there's a noticeable inner dead zone. It's not super big, but it is noticeable. I don't have the correct tools or setup to measure it, but I'm guessing it's between 5 and 10%, and as far as I know, there's no way to adjust this on the S15. You can recalibrate the sticks, which I did, though it had no effect. With the left Joy-Con powered off, you hold left bumper, capture, and up on the dpad to enter calibration mode, then rotate the stick 3 times, then press the minus button to save and exit calibration mode. On the right stick, you hold the right bumper, home, and X. Again, rotate the stick 3 times, and then press the plus button. Make sure when you do this, you have the Joy-Con sitting on a flat surface, as this also recalibrates the gyroscope sensors. Speaking of gyro, believe it or not, I actually tested it for once. Not super in depth, but I did do a few runs of Mario Kart, both in handheld mode and with a Joy-Con attachment, and the S15 performed really well. I don't typically use gyro at all, so I don't have much playtime to really get a good feel, but just going back and forth between the standard Joy-Cons and the EasySMX ones, I would say the S15 feels at least as responsive as the first-party ones, if not a little better. This might be a little bit of placebo because I enjoy the feel of these so much more. I have larger hands and I've never found it comfortable to play anything with the standard Joy-Cons, so take my opinion on this with a grain of salt. It's also nice that you don't have to enable or set up gyro. Like the Nintendo Joy-Cons, it just works. The same with Amiibo support, the S15 has it and no issues. You place the Amiibo on the right joystick exactly like you would with Nintendo's Joy-Cons. So overall, I'm really happy with the S15. This is a big upgrade for me personally, as again, the only Pro-style Joy-Cons I previously owned were the Hori Split Pad Pro, which only work in handheld mode, don't have mechanical face buttons, and don't have Hall Effect sticks, and only has 2 rear buttons. Admittedly, I don't play a lot of games on the Switch that really need 4 additional inputs, but it's nice to have the option, especially since I'm always complaining about Pro controllers with only 2 rear buttons. The only real complaints I have are the inner dead zones that can't be adjusted, and aesthetically, though I like the appearance fine, these are super shiny, and I know as soon as my kids get their hands on them, they're going to be absolutely covered with fingerprints and dirt and food, and whatever else my crazy offspring don't think to wash off before playing video games. Again, I'm not playing competitive games on the Switch, so the dead zone issue isn't quite as impactful as it would be on any controller I'm picking up for PC gaming, but it's still worth noting if you're considering picking up the S15. I hope this video helped you out, and if so, please subscribe if you haven't already. Likes are also appreciated, and I do try to react and respond to as many comments as possible. I'll be doing more reviews regularly, so I hope to see you back here again soon. Thanks for watching.